Capricorn, the burden you don't need to carry anymore. Right now there is something sitting on your shoulders that does not belong to you, and releasing it could change the entire direction of your life. Capricorn, you have been carrying weight that was placed on you so long ago that you forgot it was not yours to begin with. It became part of your posture, part of your identity, and because you are the kind of person who never complains, who just keeps going no matter how heavy things get, nobody ever stopped to tell you that you could put it down. So let me be the one to say it. You can put it down. Not someday, not when things get easier. Right now, what you are about to hear is a dismantling, a careful and compassionate dismantling of every false responsibility, every outdated obligation, every invisible chain that has been keeping you anchored to a version of life that is too small for who you are becoming. Some of what you hear will feel uncomfortable because it will be true in ways you have been avoiding. But if you stay with me through every single section, you will leave this video lighter than you have felt in years, maybe decades. The burden is real, but the belief that you have to carry it forever, that is the lie, and we are going to prove it one layer at a time. Tip 1. You turned duty into an identity and forgot you had a choice. There is something embedded deep in the Capricorn spirit that other signs simply do not carry in the same way. It is a sense of duty so powerful and so automatic that it no longer feels like a choice. Feels like who you are. When someone needs help, you help. When something is falling apart, you fix it. When there is a gap that no one else is willing to fill, you step into it without hesitation and without being asked. And you have been doing this for so long, so consistently, so reliably, that the people around you have stopped noticing. They do not thank you because they do not see it as extraordinary anymore. It is just what you do. It is just who you are. But here is the part that nobody ever says out loud. You chose this. At some point in your life, probably very early, you made a decision. You decided that you would be the one who holds things together. You decided that reliability was your currency and sacrifice was your signature. And that decision was not wrong at the time. It served you. It built your reputation. It earned you respect and trust and a position in the lives of the people around you that felt solid and important. But a decision that was right at one point in your life can become a prison at another point. And that is exactly what has happened. The duty that once empowered you has quietly become a cage. Not because the duty itself is bad, but because you forgot that you chose it. And anything you chose, you can unchoose. You can redefine the terms. You can decide that helping others no longer means abandoning yourself. You can decide that being reliable does not require being available at all times for all people for all reasons without exception. You can draw a line and still be a good person. But Capricorn struggles with lines, because in your mind, drawing a line means letting someone down, and letting someone down feels like failure. And failure is the one thing you cannot tolerate. So you keep going, you keep showing up. You keep carrying things that should have been set down years ago because the alternative, the idea of someone being disappointed in you, is worse than exhaustion. It is worse than burnout. It is worse than losing yourself entirely. And that math, that internal calculation where other people's comfort always outweighs your own survival, is the exact equation that is breaking you from the inside out. Think about what you have given up in the name of duty. Not just time, not just energy, but dreams. Opportunities, relationships that needed your attention but did not get it because you were too busy holding up everyone else's world. You have postponed your own happiness so many times that the postponement itself has become a habit. You do not even notice it anymore. Someone asks for your help, and the yes comes out before you have even processed the request. Not because you want to say yes, but because saying anything else feels physically impossible. That automatic yes is not generosity. It is programming, and programs can be rewritten once you see them for what they are. You do not have to stop helping people. That is not what this is about. This is about helping people from a place of choice instead of compulsion. It is about looking at every obligation in your life and asking one honest question. Did I choose this or did I inherit it? Because the things you inherited, the expectations that were placed on you by family or culture or circumstance, those are not sacred. They are negotiable, and you have every right to renegotiate them, even if it makes people uncomfortable, even if they resist, even if they accuse you of changing. You are changing. That is the point. growth requires change. And change requires the willingness to disappoint people who benefited from your old patterns. That is not cruelty. That is courage. And it is the kind of courage that only a Capricorn who is ready to evolve can truly find within themselves. You did not come here to be a beast of burden. You came here to build something meaningful with your own hands and your own vision. And you cannot do that if your hands are always full of other people's weight. The duty was real, but it was always supposed to be a chapter, not the entire book. And the next chapter is waiting for you to turn the page. Tip 2. You believe that putting yourself first is the same as letting others down. This is one of the most destructive beliefs a Capricorn can carry, and most of you carry it without even realizing it is there. Somewhere deep inside you there is a conviction that your needs and other people's needs exist on opposite ends of a scale, that if you move toward your own well-being, someone else automatically suffers. That self-care is a zero-sum game where your gain is always someone else's loss, and so you never move toward yourself. You stay on the other person's side of the scale every single time because the guilt of choosing yourself feels worse than the exhaustion of choosing everyone else. But this belief is not just wrong. It is completely backwards. The truth is that when you prioritize your own health and peace and restoration, you become a better version of yourself for everyone around you. The energy you bring to your relationships improves. The patience you extend to the people you love deepens and becomes more genuine. The clarity with which you make decisions sharpens. Putting yourself first is not an act of abandonment. It is an act of investment. You are pouring into the source so the source can continue to pour out. But you have been skipping that step for years, maybe decades. You have been running on fumes and calling it strength. You have been giving from an empty cup and wondering why everything feels hollow. Feels hollow because you are hollow. Not emotionally, not spiritually, but energetically. You have poured so much into others that there is nothing left inside you to sustain your own flame. And instead of pausing to refill, you just keep pouring. Dust, air, nothing. And then you wonder why your efforts do not land the way they used to. Why your help does not feel helpful anymore. Why the people you care about seem distant even when you are giving them everything you have. It is because everything you have is not enough when you have nothing left to give from. You cannot give what you do not possess. And right now, you do not possess peace. You do not possess rest. You do not possess the quiet internal fullness that comes from being attended to. Not by others, by yourself. When was the last time you did something purely for your own pleasure with absolutely no productive justification attached to it? When was the last time you said no to a request and felt good about it instead of guilty? When was the last time you looked at your schedule and saw space, real space, that belonged only to you with no obligations attached? If you cannot remember, that is your answer. That is the proof that this pattern has been running unchecked for far too long. And the people around you, the ones who love you, they would not want this for you. If they knew the full extent of what you sacrificed to show up for them, most of them would be horrified. They would say stop. They would say you matter too. They would say we never asked you to destroy yourself on our behalf. But they do not know because you do not tell them. You hide the cost. You smile through the depletion. You perform wellness while crumbling on the inside. And that performance is not noble. It is dangerous. Because one day the performance will fail. One day you will not have enough left to pretend. And the crash that follows years of suppressed need is not a gentle landing. It is a full collapse. Do not wait for that collapse. Choose yourself now, not instead of others, before others. Because you cannot hold anyone up if you have already fallen down. And falling down is exactly where this road leads if you do not change direction. The next section will show you another hidden weight you have been carrying. And this one may have been there even longer than you think. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. You have been carrying guilt that expired a long time ago. Capricorn has a vault inside their mind. Not a vault for money or valuables or precious things. A vault for guilt. And the thing about this vault is that it never gets emptied, only filled. Every mistake you have ever made. Every person you feel you have let down. Every moment where you believe you should have done more or been better or responded differently, it all goes into the vault, and it stays there, indefinitely, without review, without expiration, without any process whatsoever for release. You carry guilt from 10 years ago as if it happened this morning. You carry shame from situations where you were barely involved as if you were the sole cause of everything that went wrong. You carry the weight of outcomes you could not have controlled as if they were entirely your personal responsibility. And the vault just keeps getting heavier with every passing season. Think about what that does to a person over time, not just emotionally but physically. The tension in your shoulders that never fully releases, the tightness in your jaw that you notice only when it aches, the way you hold your breath without realizing it during moments of quiet. These are not random physical symptoms. They are the body's way of carrying what the mind refuses to let go of. Your guilt has weight, real, tangible, measurable weight, and your body has been holding it for years while you pretended everything was fine. But here is what you need to understand about guilt and its true function. Healthy guilt has a purpose. It signals when you have crossed a line. It alerts you to behavior that does not align with your values. It is a correction mechanism, a compass that points you back to integrity when you have wandered off course. That kind of guilt is useful, does its job, and then it leaves. But Capricorn guilt does not leave. It moves in. It unpacks its bags. It redecorates the room and starts acting like it owns the entire house. And the reason it stays so long is because you believe you deserve it. You believe that feeling guilty is part of being responsible, that carrying the weight is proof that you care about things deeply, that if you let go of the guilt, you are somehow letting yourself off the hook for something that should never be forgiven. But you were never on a hook. The hook is something you built for yourself out of your own impossibly high standards. And nobody, not the people you feel you wronged, not the situations you feel you failed in, nobody is asking you to stay hanging there. The forgiveness you are waiting for from the outside world has already been granted in most cases. It was granted long ago, and the people involved have moved on with their lives. The only person still withholding forgiveness is you. And the reasons you withhold it have nothing to do with the original situation anymore. They have to do with your relationship with yourself. You do not believe you deserve to feel light. You do not believe you have earned the right to move on. You do not believe that a Capricorn who lets go of guilt is still a Capricorn worth respecting. But that is the old story talking. And the old story has kept you heavy for long enough. Every single thing in that vault, every piece of guilt you have stored and revisited and punished yourself with over the years, it has served whatever purpose it was going to serve. The lesson has been learned. The awareness has been gained. The growth has already happened whether you recognize it or not. The only thing left is the weight itself. And the weight is not teaching you anything new. It is just making you tired. And tired is no way to build the life that is waiting for you on the other side of this release. Open the vault. Not all at once if that feels impossible. But start somewhere. Pick the oldest guilt in there. The one you have been carrying the longest. Look at it honestly and without flinching. Ask yourself what you are still learning from it. And if the answer is nothing, let it go. Not because it does not matter, but because you have already paid the price for it, several times over. And continuing to pay for something that has already been settled is not responsibility. It is punishment. And what comes next will show you just how deep this punishment pattern goes. Tip 4. You confuse endurance with progress and suffering with purpose. Capricorn has an almost supernatural ability to endure. You can withstand conditions that would cause most people to walk away or give up entirely. You can push through pain and exhaustion and emotional devastation without ever showing a single crack on the surface. And that endurance is genuinely impressive. It has gotten you through some of the hardest chapters of your life. It has proven to you and to everyone around you that you are not someone who quits when things get difficult. But endurance has a shadow side that you rarely talk about and almost never examine. And that shadow side is the belief that enduring is the same thing as making progress. It is not. They are two completely different things. You can endure a situation for years and not move a single inch forward. You can survive something indefinitely without ever actually living through it and coming out transformed on the other side. Endurance keeps you alive, but it does not keep you growing. And when endurance becomes your default mode of operation, When your primary relationship with difficulty is to simply outlast it rather than learn from it or leave it, you stop looking for solutions. You stop asking whether the situation itself needs to change. You stop considering that maybe, just maybe, the truly courageous thing is not to keep standing in the storm but to walk out of it entirely and find dry ground. There is a version of strength that Capricorn does not practice nearly enough. It is the strength of ending things. The strength of saying this is not working and I am choosing something different. Not because you could not handle more of it. You could handle more. You could always handle more. That has never been the question. But because handling more of something that is not serving you is not a virtue. It is a habit. And it is a habit disguised as nobility that everyone around you reinforces because they benefit from your endurance. You tell yourself that leaving is quitting, that walking away from a job or a relationship or a commitment that drains you dry is a failure of character. But it is not. Walking away from something that is slowly destroying you is the most character-driven decision you can make. It requires more courage than staying ever does. Staying is easy for Capricorn. Staying is your comfort zone. You know how to grit your teeth and push through. You have been doing it your entire life and you are very good at it. What you do not know how to do, what truly scares you to your core, is choosing ease, choosing softness, choosing a path that does not require you to bleed for every single inch of forward motion. Suffering has become so familiar to you that you distrust anything that does not hurt. If it is not hard, it must not be real. If it does not cost you something, it must not be valuable. That belief system has kept you locked in situations long past their expiration date. Jobs that stopped fulfilling you years ago but still get your best hours. Relationships where the love faded seasons ago, but the loyalty remained out of pure stubborn habit. Responsibilities that belonged to someone else but landed on your shoulders because you were the only one willing to carry them without complaint. And you carried them, not because you wanted to, but because putting them down felt like admitting defeat in a war only you were fighting. Here is your permission to put them down. Not because you are weak, because you are wise enough to know the difference between a burden that builds you and a burden that buries you. The burdens that build you have a direction. They move you somewhere meaningful. They challenge you in ways that make you sharper and stronger and more capable. The burdens that bury you have no direction at all. They just sit on your back and press you deeper into the ground with each passing day. And you know which ones are which. You have always known. You just did not believe you had the right to choose between them. You do. You have the right to choose yourself over your endurance. You have the right to stop surviving and start living. And what waits beyond that choice might surprise you more than anything you have experienced in years. Tip 5. You hold on to relationships that stopped growing a long time ago. This one is going to sting and it needs to, because Capricorn holds on tighter than almost any other sign when it comes to people. Once you let someone into your inner world, once you decide that a person matters to you, you lock them in with a loyalty that borders on sacred. You make a commitment in your heart that says this person is mine, and I will show up for them no matter what happens. And that commitment is beautiful when it is reciprocated, when both people are growing together, feeding the connection with genuine care, investing in the relationship with real energy and attention. That Capricorn loyalty becomes one of the most powerful forces on the planet. Nothing can break it. Nothing can shake it. It is bedrock. But when it is not reciprocated, when the other person has stopped growing or stopped caring or stopped meeting you anywhere close to the middle of things, that same loyalty becomes a trap. A beautiful trap lined with memories and promises and the ghost of what used to be. And you stay in that trap, not because you are blind to what is happening. You see it clearly. You always see it clearly. You see the distance growing between you and this person. You see the effort becoming painfully one-sided. You see the conversations getting shorter and the silences getting longer and heavier. You see all of it with that sharp Capricorn awareness that misses nothing. But seeing it and acting on it are two very different things for you. Because acting on it means admitting that the relationship has run its course. And admitting that feels like admitting that your judgment was wrong, that you invested in the wrong person, that you wasted time and energy and emotion and devotion on something that was never going to last the way you wanted it to. And Capricorn cannot stand the idea of a wasted investment. It goes against everything you believe about effort and reward and the way the world is supposed to work. So you keep investing. You keep pouring into something that is no longer returning anything meaningful. You keep showing up for someone who stopped showing up for you a long time ago. And you justify it by calling it loyalty. You justify it by calling it commitment. You justify it by saying that you are not the kind of person who gives up on people. But loyalty to something that is already gone is not loyalty. It is denial wrapped in devotion. The relationship ended. Maybe not formally. Maybe no one said the words out loud. But the energy shifted. The warmth faded. The connection that once felt effortless and alive now feels like a performance that only one of you is still rehearsing. And you are the one rehearsing. Always you. Practicing your lines for an audience that has already left the room. Think about how much energy that costs you. Not just emotional energy, but creative energy. Mental energy. The kind of energy that could be directed toward building something new and vital. Toward opening yourself to connections that actually match where you are now and who you have become. Instead of clinging to connections that match where you were years ago when you were a different person entirely. People are allowed to grow apart. That is not a tragedy. That is nature doing what nature does. Seasons change. Chapters end. And the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for the other person is to acknowledge when a chapter has closed with grace and without bitterness. You are not losing something when you release a relationship that has stopped growing. You are making room. Room for people who are aligned with the version of you that exists right now. Not the version from 5 years ago. Not the version from a decade ago. The version that is here today. With new needs and new depths and new capacities for connection that the old relationship could never have accommodated no matter how hard you tried. Stop watering gardens where nothing grows anymore. Your care deserves soil that can still bloom. And what comes next will reveal yet another burden you have been carrying in silence. Tip 6. You silence your own needs because you were taught they were inconvenient. There is a pattern in Capricorn that runs so deep it feels like instinct. But it is not instinct at all. It is conditioning. Somewhere in your early years, probably before you were old enough to understand what was happening or question it, you received a message. That message was clear even if it was never spoken directly out loud. Your needs are secondary. Other people's needs come first. Being good means being quiet about what you want. And you internalize that message so completely and so thoroughly that it became the operating system for your entire life going forward. You learn to shrink. Not your ambitions. Capricorn never shrinks ambition, but your emotional needs, your personal desires, the parts of you that wanted comfort and attention and tenderness and reassurance and warmth. Those parts learned to be silent, because every time they spoke up, every time you expressed a need as a young person, the response you got was not warmth. It was dismissal, or impatience, or the unspoken but very clear suggestion that you were being too much for the people around you. And so you decided to be less needy, less emotional, less demanding, less visible in your vulnerability, less human in the ways that matter most. You built a version of yourself that required nothing from anyone, a version that could walk through the world completely self-contained, never asking, never leaning, never reaching out for support of any kind. And you thought that was strength. You genuinely believed that needing nothing was the ultimate form of power and independence. But it is not power. It is armor. An armor that you can never take off eventually becomes a cage that you cannot escape from. You are in that cage right now. Not because you cannot get out, but because you have worn the armor for so long that you have confused it with your actual skin. You do not know where the armor ends and you begin anymore. The needs did not go away just because you stopped expressing them to the world. They went underground. They became resentment that you could not explain. They became exhaustion that sleep could not fix. They became that low persistent hum of dissatisfaction that follows you even when everything in your life looks exactly the way it should look on paper. Everything is in order. Everything is under control. And yet something feels deeply and permanently missing. What is missing is you, the real you, the one who needs things and is not ashamed of that fact. The one who has desires that go beyond achievement and productivity and checking boxes. The one who sometimes wants to be held without having to earn it through service. The one who wants to be asked how they are doing and have the person actually wait for the honest answer instead of accepting the polished version. That version of you is still in there, buried under decades of conditioning and performance and quiet self-denial that you turned into a lifestyle. And that buried version is tired of being ignored. Your needs are not inconvenient. They are not too much. They are not a sign of weakness or a burden on the people around you. Your needs are information. They tell you what is missing from your life. They tell you what you require in order to function at your fullest capacity and experience genuine satisfaction. And ignoring that information does not make you more efficient. It makes you more broken with every passing year. Think about it this way. If a machine is sending warning signals that it needs maintenance, you do not call those signals inconvenient. You call them essential. You respond to them immediately because you know that ignoring them will lead to a catastrophic breakdown. You are the machine that has been ignoring every warning signal for years. The tiredness is a signal. The frustration that seems to come from nowhere is a signal. The emptiness you feel even in the middle of accomplishment is a signal. They are all saying the same thing in different voices. You have needs. Meet them. Not after everyone else's are taken care of. Not when there is time left over at the end of a long day. Not when you have earned the right through more sacrifice. Now, today, your needs deserve the same urgency you give to everyone else's without hesitation. And the moment you start treating them that way, the moment you stop apologizing for having them, is the moment everything in your life begins to shift in ways you could not have predicted. And the next weight we need to examine might be the one doing the most invisible damage of all. Tip 7. You wear exhaustion like a medal when it is actually a warning sign. Capricorn has a complicated and honestly troubling relationship with tiredness. When other people are exhausted, you see it as a sign that they need to rest and recharge. When you are exhausted, you see it as proof that you are working hard enough to deserve your place in the world. There is a strange pride that comes with being depleted, a quiet satisfaction in mentioning that you are running on 4 hours of sleep or that you have not taken a real day off in months. You wear your exhaustion like a badge of honor, like it proves something important about your character and your commitment. Like the more tired you are, the more serious you must be about your goals and the more valid your efforts become. But exhaustion is not a badge. It is a warning. It is your body and your mind sending you a clear, unmistakable signal that something is fundamentally wrong with the way you are living. And you are not just ignoring that signal, you are celebrating it. You are posting it like a trophy on the shelf of your identity. Think about what that really means when you examine it closely. You have reframed a health crisis as an achievement. You have turned self-destruction into a point of pride. And the worst part is that the culture around you reinforces this distortion at every turn. Busy is treated like a virtue. Overwhelmed is treated like a status symbol. And the person who sleeps 5 hours and skips meals and works through weekends is admired more than the person who gets 8 hours and eats well and protects their boundaries. That value system is broken at its foundation, and you have bought into it completely without question. The truth about exhaustion is that it does not make you more productive. It makes you significantly less productive in every measurable way. Slows your thinking. It dulls your creativity to a fraction of what it could be. It shortens your patience with the people you care about. It narrows your vision until all you can see is the next task on the list instead of the bigger picture that gives those tasks meaning. You think you are accomplishing more by pushing through tiredness, but you are actually accomplishing less at a lower quality. Because the quality of your work diminishes with every hour you steal from sleep and recovery. The ideas that could have been brilliant become merely adequate. The decisions that should have been thoughtful and strategic become reactive and short-sighted. The presence you bring to your relationships becomes thin and distracted and hollow. You are there, but you are not really there. And the people around you can feel it even if they cannot name exactly what has changed. They feel the distance in your eyes. They feel the shortness in your responses. They feel the way you are going through the motions without any of the warmth or genuine attention that used to define your presence in their lives. That is what exhaustion costs you. Not just energy, connection. The ability to be fully present with the people and projects and moments that matter most to you. You trade all of that for the privilege of saying you worked harder than everyone else in the room. And in the end, what does that prove when you really think about it honestly? It proves that you do not value yourself enough to protect yourself from your own ambition. That is not admirable. That is something that needs to change before it is too late. Your body is not a machine that can run indefinitely on willpower and determination and caffeine. It is a living, breathing system that requires rest and fuel and care and attention. And when you deny it those things, you are not being dedicated to your goals. You are being destructive to the only vehicle you have for reaching them. The most productive Capricorn is not the one who works the most hours. It is the one who works the right hours with full presence and then stops, who rests without guilt, who sleeps without shame, who understands that the real goal is not to outwork everyone, but to outlast them through sustainability and wisdom. And you cannot outlast anyone if you are running yourself into the ground year after year. There is a pattern even more hidden than this one though, and it might be the one controlling everything else without you knowing. Tip 8. You measure your worth by what you produce instead of who you are. This might be the heaviest burden Capricorn carries, and it is also the most invisible to the naked eye, because it does not look like a burden from the outside. It looks like ambition. It looks like drive. It looks like a work ethic that everyone admires and nobody thinks to question. But underneath that admirable surface is a terrifying equation that has been running your entire life, since you were young enough to understand what achievement meant. That equation says, I am only as valuable as my last accomplishment. If you strip away the goals and the achievements and the titles and the responsibilities, if you remove every external marker of success that you have spent your life collecting, who are you? That question does not excite Capricorn, terrifies you, because you have built your entire identity around output, around results, around the tangible, measurable evidence that you matter and that your existence is justified. And without those things, you are not sure you matter at all. That is the wound underneath everything else. Not that you are lazy, not that you lack motivation, not that you need more discipline or more structure. The wound is that deep down in the place you never let anyone see, you believe your existence requires justification, that simply being alive is not enough to warrant your place here, that you have to earn your space on this planet every single day through labor and accomplishment and visible, quantifiable proof of contribution. And so you never stop working, not because you love the work, although sometimes you genuinely do and those are the good days, but because stopping feels like ceasing to exist, like disappearing. When you are not producing, you feel invisible. When you are not achieving, you feel worthless. When you have a day where nothing measurable gets done, you do not feel rested or recharged. You feel panicked, like the ground beneath you is crumbling because it was never solid to begin with. It was always held up by what you did rather than who you are. And when you stop doing, the ground threatens to give way entirely. That is an exhausting way to live a life, because it means you can never truly rest. Every pause is a threat to your sense of self. Every vacation is anxiety wrapped in a pleasant setting. Every moment of stillness is haunted by the voice that whispers you should be doing something productive right now. And so you do something. Always. Even when you are sitting still, your mind is working, planning, calculating, organizing the next move on the invisible chessboard of your ambition. You are never fully off. Not really. And the toll that takes on your nervous system, on your relationships, on your ability to experience simple, uncomplicated joy without attaching it to an outcome, is enormous beyond what you allow yourself to acknowledge. You have forgotten how to just be. You have forgotten that your presence alone has value, that walking into a room and bringing your energy and your attention and your genuine care is a contribution that cannot be measured but matters deeply. That listening to someone without fixing their problem is enough. That sitting with a friend in comfortable silence is enough. That being alive and breathing and aware and present is enough on its own without any productive output attached. None of those things produce anything measurable. None of them can be put on a resume or tracked in a spreadsheet or pointed to as evidence of your value. But they are the things that make life worth living in the truest sense. And you have been trading them for productivity points that mean absolutely nothing when the lights go out at night and you are alone with yourself. The people who love you do not love your output. They love you. The version of you that laughs too loud sometimes. The version of you that gets quiet when something really matters. The version of you that shows up not because there is something to do but because there is someone to be with. That version of you is enough. It has always been enough. And the sooner you genuinely believe that, the sooner you will be free from the relentless, exhausting need to prove it every single day. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. You carry the expectations of people who are no longer watching. This is one of the most invisible burdens Capricorn carries, and it might be the one that weighs the most because you cannot see it sitting on your shoulders. Because the expectations that control your life are not all coming from people who are currently present in your world. Some of them are coming from the past, from people who shaped you years ago and have long since moved on or moved away or simply stopped paying attention to the choices you make. A parent who wanted you to follow a certain path and expressed disappointment when you hesitated. A teacher who said you were not good enough and left that mark on your confidence forever. A partner who told you that you needed to be more of this or less of that in order to be worthy of love. These voices left imprints on you. Deep lasting imprints that became part of your inner architecture. And even though the people who made those imprints may no longer be in your life at all, the imprints remain as vivid as the day they were made. You are still trying to prove something to someone who is not watching anymore. You are still working tirelessly to meet a standard that was set by a person who may not even remember setting it. You are still performing for an audience that left the theater years ago and never looked back. And the stage is empty, but you keep acting. You keep hitting your marks. You keep delivering lines that were written for a version of you that no longer exists in a show that nobody is attending. Think about the absurdity of that when you say it plainly. You are performing a role that no one assigned to you in a play that no one is watching for applause that will never come. And yet you keep doing it because stopping the performance feels like admitting that all those years of rehearsal were for nothing. Think about how much of your current behavior is actually driven by your current desires versus how much is a reflexive response to something that was said or expected of you long ago by people who had their own agendas and limitations. If you are truly honest with yourself, the answer might be deeply disturbing, because so many of the things you are chasing right now, so many of the goals you have set with such determination, so many of the standards you hold yourself to with merciless precision, were not chosen by you at all. They were inherited. They were absorbed from environments and authority figures and cultural expectations that you never questioned, because questioning them felt disrespectful or dangerous or ungrateful. And so you carried them forward, unexamined, unchallenged, treated as absolute truth simply because they came from someone you trusted or feared or loved. But expectations from the past are not truth. They are opinions. They are the projections of people who were looking at you through their own lens, filtered through their own fears and their own unfulfilled dreams and their own unresolved wounds. And those projections often had very little to do with who you actually are or what you actually want for your life. The parent who wanted you to follow a certain profession may have wanted that because they never got the chance themselves and were living through you. The teacher who said you were not good enough may have been carrying their own deep feelings of inadequacy. The partner who wanted you to change may have been uncomfortable with aspects of themselves that your authenticity reflected back at them like a mirror they did not want to look into. Their expectations were about them, not about you, and you have been carrying their baggage as if it were your own for years that you will never get back. It is time to sort through it, not to disrespect the people who influenced you, not to blame them for your challenges or your pain, but to separate what is truly yours from what was placed on you without your consent, to ask yourself with full honesty and without flinching, if no one had ever told me what I should be, what would I choose to be? That question might open a door you have been avoiding for a very long time, because behind that door is a version of you that is unscripted, uncurated, unchained from the expectations of people who are no longer watching and no longer care. And that version of you, the one who chooses their own path based on their own values and their own authentic desires, that is the version the world has been waiting for. Let the old expectations go. They have served whatever purpose they were going to serve. And what comes after this release might be the most important shift of all. Tip 10. You have mistaken control for safety when it is actually fear wearing a disguise. Capricorn seeks control the way other signs seek comfort. It is not a mild preference or a personality quirk. It is a survival strategy that has been running in the background of your life for as long as you can remember. If you can control the variables, if you can predict the outcomes, if you can manage every detail of every situation down to the smallest element, then nothing can surprise you. Nothing can hurt you. Nothing can catch you off guard and leave you exposed and vulnerable. And so you control. You control your environment with meticulous attention. You control your schedule with rigid precision. You control the way people perceive you with careful curation. You control the narrative around your life so thoroughly that spontaneity does not feel like adventure. feels like a threat to everything you have built. Any deviation from the plan is not an interesting development. It is a crisis, and you respond to it with the full force of your organizational ability. Not because the deviation is actually dangerous, but because the loss of control triggers something primal inside you, something deep and old and powerful that whispers with absolute conviction, if you are not in control of this, you are not safe. But that whisper is lying to you. It has been lying to you for years. Control does not equal safety. It equals rigidity. And rigidity, as we have already discussed, is not strength. It is the precursor to breaking in the most devastating way possible. The things in your life that have brought you the most genuine joy. The moments you remember most vividly when you are alone with your thoughts. The experiences that fundamentally changed who you are for the better. Almost none of them were planned. Think about that honestly. They were accidents, surprises, beautiful departures from the script that turned into the best scenes of your entire story. The person you care about most might have been someone you met in the most unexpected and unplanned way. The career pivot that truly defined your path might have started with a conversation you did not schedule. The insight that shifted your entire perspective might have arrived during a moment of chaos, rather than a moment of order. Life does not reward control. Life rewards presence, the ability to be in the moment and respond to what is actually happening rather than clinging to what you planned should happen. And presence requires loosening your grip on the steering wheel, not letting go entirely, not throwing the plan away and driving off a cliff, but holding it loosely enough that life can rearrange it without you going into a full state of internal emergency. This is incredibly hard for Capricorn, because loosening your grip feels identical to inviting disaster through the front door. Your mind immediately goes to the worst-case scenario as if it were the only possible outcome. If I do not control this situation, it will fall apart. If I do not manage every element of this, it will go catastrophically wrong. If I do not stay on top of every single detail, everything I have spent years building will collapse in an instant. But ask yourself with ruthless honesty, how many of those worst-case scenarios have actually materialized in your real life? How many times has loosening your grip on something led to the specific catastrophe you were certain would follow? In most cases, the honest answer is rarely, or never. The genuine catastrophes in your life, the real devastating ones, they happen despite your control, not because of its absence. They happen because life is fundamentally unpredictable, and no amount of planning and managing and controlling can prevent everything that the universe has in store. And the energy you spent trying to prevent those things from happening, the sleepless nights spent running scenarios, the obsessive planning and replanning again, the constant vigilance that never allowed you a single moment of genuine peace, none of it stopped the difficult thing from happening when it decided to arrive. It just exhausted you completely before it got there. Control is an illusion that costs you peace every single day you chase it. Every moment you spend trying to manage what cannot be managed is a moment stolen from actually living your life, from breathing deeply, from being present in your own beautiful, complicated, messy existence, without the constant hum of anxiety that comes from trying to hold it all together with your bare hands. You do not need to hold it all together. Some things are supposed to fall apart so that better things can form from the pieces. Some plans are supposed to fail so that better plans can emerge. Let things be uncertain sometimes. You will survive the uncertainty. You always have. But there is something even deeper that needs to be addressed before we finish. And it has been quietly shaping everything from the very beginning. Tip 11. You tell yourself the story that you do not deserve ease, and it has become your reality. There is a narrative that Capricorn carries like a second heartbeat. It is always there, always pulsing beneath the surface of every thought and every decision. And it says the same thing over and over in a voice so familiar you mistake it for your own wisdom. You have not done enough yet. You are not there yet. When you get to the next level, then you can relax. When you finish the next project, then you can rest without guilt. When you reach the next milestone, then you will have finally earned the right to feel good about where you are. But that next level never truly arrives, because every single time you reach it, the goalpost moves, the standard shifts, the definition of enough expands just enough to stay forever out of reach no matter how fast you run or how hard you push. And so you keep running, keep pushing, Keep denying yourself the ease that is available to you right now in this moment because you believe deep in your bones that ease must be earned through more effort and more sacrifice and more suffering before it becomes legitimate. This is not discipline. This is not a strong work ethic. This is a punishment cycle disguised as ambition. And you are both the judge who hands down the sentence and the prisoner who serves it endlessly. You sentenced yourself to a life of perpetual striving without ever defining the specific conditions for release. There is no finish line drawn anywhere. There is no moment where you will look around at everything you have accomplished and say with genuine peace, I have done enough and I can stop now. Because the voice that sets the standard is the exact same voice that moves it further away every time you get close. And that voice does not actually want you to succeed and find rest. It wants you to keep going. Because keeping going is all it has ever known, and stillness terrifies it more than any amount of exhaustion ever could. Ease is available to you right now, not as a reward for some future achievement you have not yet accomplished, not as something you will access once you have checked every single box on every single list. Right now, in this moment as you take in these words, you can choose to let ease in. You can choose to believe that you deserve a life that does not hurt all the time. That joy is not something you earn exclusively through misery. That peace is not the prize at the end of a long road of suffering that stretches on forever. Peace is a practice, and you can start practicing it today without earning the right first. The story you have been telling yourself, the one that says you do not deserve ease until some undefined future condition is met, that story is a lie. It was always a lie. And it has shaped your reality in ways you are only beginning to understand as we sit here together in this moment. Because stories become beliefs when you tell them long enough. Beliefs become behaviors when they go unchallenged. Behaviors become patterns when they repeat without interruption. And patterns become your life when you stop questioning whether they serve you. If the story says you do not deserve ease, then you will unconsciously create a life without ease in it. You will choose the harder path even when an easier one is right there in front of you. You will complicate what is simple because simplicity does not feel earned. You will find problems where none exist because the absence of problems makes you nervous. You will reject comfort and peace and rest because they do not match the narrative that has been driving every decision you make. You are not living in reality. You are living in a story. And the author of that story is a wounded version of you who decided long ago that suffering was the price of existence and ease was for people who had not worked hard enough. That author needs to be retired, not dismissed, not mocked for getting it wrong. Retired with gratitude for getting you this far through genuinely difficult times and firm, clear instructions that their services are no longer required for the chapter ahead. Because a new author is ready to take over. One who knows that ease and ambition can coexist beautifully. One who understands that rest is not laziness and joy is not frivolity, and peace is not complacency. One who writes a story where Capricorn achieves extraordinary things and actually feels good while doing it. That story is possible. It is not fantasy or wishful thinking. It is available to you right now, and it has been available for longer than you realize. The only thing standing between you and that story is the willingness to change the narrative. To say out loud without apology or qualification, I deserve ease. Not someday. Now. And the final truth is the one that ties everything together. Tip 12. You already know what you need to let go of. You are just afraid of who you will be without it. Everything we have walked through brings us to this one final unavoidable truth. You know what needs to change. You have always known. The relationship that drains your energy without giving anything back. The responsibility that crushes you under its weight, while everyone else walks around unburdened. The expectation that does not fit who you have become. The guilt that serves no purpose except to make you smaller. The exhaustion you wear as proof of your worth when it is actually proof of your neglect. The control you cling to out of fear disguised as wisdom. The story that says you do not deserve better until you have suffered more. You know all of it. You have known for a very long time, probably longer than you would ever admit to another person. The issue was never awareness. Capricorn is one of the most self-aware signs in the entire zodiac. You see your patterns with devastating clarity that would overwhelm most people. You can name your wounds by their first names. You can trace your habits back to their roots in childhood, or in the specific moments that shaped them. You can explain exactly why you do what you do and where it comes from and what it costs you with the precision of someone who has studied themselves for decades. The knowing is not the problem. It has never been the problem. The doing is. Because doing means changing. And changing means becoming someone unfamiliar to yourself and to everyone who knows you. And for a sign that values stability and structure and predictability above almost everything else, unfamiliarity is the ultimate threat. You would rather carry a burden you understand than step into freedom you cannot predict. Better the devil you know than the peace you have never experienced. That is the calculation you keep making beneath your conscious awareness. And it keeps you exactly where you are. Stuck, heavy, tired, safe in the worst possible definition of that word. But there is something on the other side of that fear that you cannot see from where you are standing right now. And it is not chaos. It is not the disintegration of everything you have spent years building. It is not the terrifying free fall your mind warns you about every time you consider letting go. It is expansion. Pure, simple, beautiful expansion. It is the version of your life that exists when you stop carrying things that were never yours to begin with. When you stop performing strength you do not feel. When you stop earning rest you already deserve. When you stop measuring your worth by your output and start experiencing it through your presence. That version of your life is real. It is waiting just beyond the threshold of your fear. And it requires only one thing from you. The willingness to set the burden down and walk forward without it. You have carried enough. Not because you were weak for carrying it. You were incredibly strong. Stronger than most people will ever understand or appreciate. You held things that would have broken anyone else a long time ago. You stood firm when everything around you was shifting and uncertain. You showed up when no one else did, and you did it without complaint. You endured when endurance seemed impossible, and you did it with grace. All of that is deeply true, and all of it deserves to be honored and remembered. But honoring your strength does not mean continuing to test it past every breaking point. You have proven yourself. 1,000 times over you have proven what you are made of. You do not need to prove anything again to anyone, including yourself. The next chapter of your life is not about what you can survive. It is about what you can create when your hands are finally free. When the weight is gone and the guilt is released and the expectations are truly your own and the story you are living in is one you actually chose with full awareness and genuine desire. That is when Capricorn becomes something the world has never seen before. Not the grinding kind of unstoppable that leaves you depleted and hollow inside. The flowing kind. The kind that moves with purpose and ease simultaneously because those two things were never meant to be enemies. The kind that builds extraordinary things without burning down the builder in the process. That life is available to you. Not in some distant future you have to earn through more years of suffering. Now, today, in the very next decision you make and the one after that, choose to put something down. One thing, the heaviest thing on your shoulders right now. The thing you have been holding on to not because it serves you or makes you better, but because letting go of it terrifies you more than the pain of keeping it. Put it down, and notice what happens in the silence that follows. Notice how your shoulders drop for the first time in longer than you can remember. Notice how your breathing deepens without you having to think about it. Notice how the world does not end just because you stopped holding a piece of it. It just gets lighter. And so do you. That lightness is not weakness. It is not irresponsibility. It is not giving up. It is the beginning of everything you have been waiting for your entire life. And you do not have to earn it through more pain. It is already yours. It has been yours all along. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift. Or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.